Right now, as you're listening to this, hundreds, sometimes thousands, of microscopic power stations are humming away inside every single cell of your body. Scientists call them mitochondria. They're the reason your heart can beat, your brain can form a thought, and your legs can carry you up a flight of stairs. They manufacture the energy that powers literally everything you do. But here's what most people never think about. Those tiny power stations don't last forever. As the years go by, they begin to wear down, and when enough of them falter, you feel it, in the afternoon fatigue that hits out of nowhere, the workouts that take days to recover from, the mental fog that seems to settle in a little thicker each year. Mitochondrial decline is actually recognized by researchers as one of the key hallmarks of biological aging. By the time you reach your 40s and 50s, your cells are generating less energy and accumulating more internal damage. This isn't just getting old. This is your cellular infrastructure quietly degrading, one power station at a time. But, and this is the exciting part, there is good news. Your body was designed with its own built-in quality control system for dealing with worn-out mitochondria. The scientific term is mitophagy. Mito refers to mitochondria, and phagy means to consume or eat. Essentially, your cells are supposed to detect damaged mitochondria, dismantle them, and replace them with brand new, high-functioning ones. The problem? As we age, this cleanup system slows dramatically. Instead of being recycled, those broken-down mitochondria start piling up like old machinery that nobody's clearing away. And that build-up is a major contributor to the fatigue and decline we associate with aging. So what if there were a way to reboot that system? Well, about 10 years ago, researchers studying tiny worms, specifically the species C. elegans, a common model in longevity science, stumbled onto something remarkable. Worms whose gut bacteria produced a particular compound ended up living longer and maintaining significantly healthier muscles than worms that didn't produce it. That compound is called urolithin A. And here's the fascinating part. You can't just eat urolithin A directly from a food. Instead, your gut bacteria manufacture it for you, but only when you feed them one particular type of raw material. Please note, the information shared on this channel is for educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your physician before making changes to your diet or health routine. Now, that food, the star of today's discussion, is the pomegranate. Pomegranates, along with a handful of other foods like walnuts, raspberries, and strawberries, are rich in naturally occurring compounds called ellagitannins. When you eat these foods, the beneficial bacteria in your gut go to work converting those ellagitannins into urolithin A. And urolithin A is one of the very few natural compounds shown in published human clinical trials to directly activate mitophagy, your body's own mitochondria cleanup crew. Let me walk you through exactly what the science says, step by step. Benefit number 1, clearing out the cellular junk through mitophagy. In both laboratory and animal studies, urolithin A has been shown to significantly ramp up mitophagy, meaning it helps your cells identify and remove damaged mitochondria that would otherwise sit around generating inflammation and harmful free radicals. You don't need an expensive supplement shelf for this. One whole pomegranate, or roughly 3/4 to 1 cup of pomegranate arils, those jewel-like seed pods, is a solid starting point as a daily habit. Once your gut bacteria convert the ellagitannins into urolithin A, it enters your bloodstream and reaches your muscles and other tissues, where it activates the molecular switches responsible for identifying and dismantling worn-out mitochondria. Think of it as taking out the cellular trash. Here's a practical tip. Buy your pomegranates whole, not as juice. Before cutting, roll the fruit firmly on your countertop to loosen the seeds inside. Then slice it open, submerged in a bowl of water. The white pith floats to the surface, the arils sink to the bottom, and you avoid a kitchen that looks like a crime scene. Benefit number 2, building brand new power stations, a process scientists call mitochondrial biogenesis. In a published first-in-human clinical trial, Adults who received urolithin A for just 4 weeks showed measurable changes in the expression of genes responsible for constructing new mitochondria within their muscle tissue, along with improvements in fat metabolism. Consistency is what matters here, not quantity. A daily intake is far more effective than loading up once a week. Clearing out old mitochondria is only half the equation. Your cells also need to manufacture fresh replacements. Urolithin A appears to support both halves of that cycle, essentially helping your body swap out old, inefficient power stations for new, high-performance ones. Here's another tip. Pair your pomegranate with a source of healthy fat, like a small handful of walnuts. Walnuts contain L-argitannins as well, so you're reinforcing the same biological pathway from 2 sources simultaneously. And the dietary fat may improve the absorption of the other beneficial polyphenols. Benefit number 3, real, measurable muscle results. In a randomized clinical trial involving middle-aged adults, participants who received urolithin A demonstrated approximately a 12% improvement in muscle strength, along with better aerobic endurance and lower blood markers of inflammation. In a separate randomized trial involving adults aged 65 to 90, researchers measured how many muscle contractions participants could perform before reaching fatigue. After 4 months, that number improved significantly in the urolithin A group compared to baseline. Now, an important note of honesty. Those trial doses used concentrated urolithin A supplements, and it's difficult to match those exact levels from food alone. However, regular pomegranate consumption over weeks and months is the food-based approach to supporting the very same biological pathway your body already uses. Stronger, cleaner mitochondria mean your muscle cells can produce ATP, your cellular fuel, more efficiently, and that translates into real-world strength and stamina you can actually feel, not just a number on a lab printout. Pair this nutritional habit with regular movement, even brisk walking counts. Exercise itself is one of the most potent natural activators of mitophagy, so pomegranate and physical activity are working on the exact same system from 2 different angles. Now here's the catch that almost nobody talks about. Not everyone's gut bacteria can actually perform this conversion. Research suggests that only about 30 to 40% of people naturally produce meaningful amounts of urolithin A from eating pomegranates. Scientists refer to these individuals as producers. The remaining 60 to 70%? Their gut microbiome simply isn't equipped to make the conversion efficiently, regardless of how many pomegranates they consume. So does that mean it's a lost cause if you're a non-producer? Absolutely not. It means your gut microbiome, not just your food choices, is the other critical half of the equation. And the encouraging news is that you can improve your odds. First, eat a wide variety of plant fibers. Not just one source. Diverse plants feed diverse bacteria, and microbial diversity is linked to a higher likelihood of being an efficient converter. Second, include fermented foods on a regular basis. Yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut. These support a healthier gut ecosystem overall. Third, don't rely on pomegranate juice alone. Juice processing strips away much of the fiber and pith, which is where a large portion of the L-argitannins actually reside. Whole arils, seeds and all, are the superior source. And fourth, be patient. This is not an overnight transformation. Human trials typically show it takes 6 to 12 weeks of consistent daily intake before you'd expect to notice or measure a meaningful difference. This is a slow cellular rebuild, not a quick fix. Most people don't realize that their gut bacteria are the missing piece of the mitochondria puzzle, not just the food sitting on the plate. So let me share how I personally build this into one simple daily ritual. In the morning, I add a handful of pomegranate arils and a few walnut halves on top of a bowl of yogurt. That's the whole thing. One bowl, and you've combined a fermented food to nourish your gut bacteria, 2 different L-argitannin sources to maximize your chances of producing urolithin A, and the protein and probiotics to round it all out. I call it my daily mitochondria bowl. If you want more evidence-based breakdowns like this, real science, no hype, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That's exactly the kind of content I create here. I'll see you in the next one.